one of the cooler stories or like experiences you had for that year that you were working there at SpaceX? Because that's pretty hardcore, man. You would want something, some kind of payoff to come from something like that. And of course, for folks who follow SpaceX, like the Dragon and like the projects that you guys were working on turned out to be like history making in a sense. Yeah, would love to hear just a little bit more about like, damn, I'll never forget this. This was like one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me.
I mean, there were a lot of interesting moments, right? From talks with Elon and bumping into him in the stairwell, literally, to some of the technical engineering sort of challenges that we faced. But I guess one or two, I do remember we had it was unique to me and sticks out to me because it was my first day, literally the first day on the job, and SpaceX, you start off with orientation. So we went through this really well crafted orientation in the morning, and sometime around, I'm going to say it was around noon, orientation finishes, and you basically go to your direct supervisor, and you're off to your job function. Like it's time to get going. So, which by the way is very different. Like at Dow Chemical, we actually had a week long sort of orientation where you do a lot of trainings and online work. So this was a few hours in the morning, and then okay, it's time to actually roll up your sleeves. But I remember specifically, they at the time were moving from one facility to another. The Demo One Dragon capsule, which is the first capsule that was ever made for the crew test for Demo One. And in that move, it was going from one location in Hawthorne's campus, which is actually quite massive. It's like 30 something buildings, or was at the time, to the main building, which is HTO1. It's the big one with the Falcon booster right out front. So I remember that, my manager was responsible for that move, but he had basically another commitment that came up. And so, within 30 minutes of me being, employed at SpaceX, he's like, I want you to lead the initiative to make sure that this vehicle is moved. I mean, all of the prep work had basically been done. But he's like, this is a multi-billion-dollar project, right? Crew Dragon. The vehicle itself is millions and millions of dollars. And basically it's in your hands. Just make sure that everything goes right. And if something goes wrong, you have the authority and the power to stop it and get it back on track. And that was it. And he left, he kind of walked away. And so I really felt super empowered and also probably more nervous than I had ever felt in my life at that moment. So, I had to coordinate with a lot of different teams that were involved in that move. And we got the vehicle ultimately to where it needed to be. Everything was connected properly, and it was going through a series of assembly and test procedures. But that being said, just the idea that somebody would entrust somebody else on the team with something so valuable, and basically empower them to make these decisions, it just goes to show you, like you it's fight or flight. You learn to succeed or you fail, and everybody there is going to support you in your initiative to succeed.
Man, talk about quite the first day at work.
Yes.